So we're going to watch Peter Pan Goes Wrong.
I haven't watched Peter Pan Goes Wrong or Christmas Carol Goes Wrong for ages, so I'm not sure how much I'll be able to remember. But I'm ready to go.
Press play now.
Yeah.
With our tiny remote. I look like a giant.
And there he is, there's Suchet.
David Suchet.
A sweeter family you've never seen, with hearts as good as gold. And on this fateful evening, our story shall unfold.
The narrator's chair being pushed on and off was always one of the cast, when we didn't have that many backstage people. So when we weren't on stage, we were running around backstage, and it was usually one of us having to push and pull heavy chair on and off stage. But none of us got that honour to do it to Suchet on this.
Mother, can anything harm us when the nightlight is lit?
Nothing precious.
Ah, the beds.
I love the bunk bed bit so much.
The bed to be in was just terrifying because you knew it was coming.
When we first did this show in London, it took me a really, really long time to get over the fear. And I think you can even tell when you watch it that fear is real. It's really, really real.
Are you comfortable?
Yes, Mother!
And you, Wendy? Yes, Mother.
So when we first built the bunk beds, when we did the show at the Pleasance, it was like we'd kind of built it ourselves, and it was just on this crazy mechanism that was operated from behind the wall. And there was so little space in the one that I had that we actually had to pad the top bit of it with foam because it would hit me in the head.
Crush your face.
Yeah, so I had to, every time I had to lay with my face to the side, I don't know if you can see it, but like, it was like literally like this far away. Like it was so close. And yeah, I got hit once, but these ones are really, really safe. But yeah, we try and build it yourself. But I'm in the middle one, which we called the death box, because you kind of get rattled around. You kind of get the worst of both worlds.
Because you get hit and you fall.
Yeah, you get dropped on and then you get dropped with someone on top of you.
And you know, you really once it went, you've not got a lot of space in there at all, and you knew that if you're lying, if you're popped up a little bit, then then it'll have you.
And I think we're about to see Greg's entrance.
Yes.
For Peter Pan, and he does this so well. We had a really good flying team who were just unafraid just to smash him around.
It's me. I miss flying. It was always a lot of fun. Had such a great fly team. It was great just giving them permission to try and catch me off guard at certain points so I could look even more stupid and ungraceful.
So a big thing that we tried to get right when we were making the show was the kind of classical Peter Pan moment. So Peter's entrance was a really big deal, and we wanted to make sure that was hilarious. And I just think Greg does so well here, because he's just being winched about by his groin and by his waist.
Would you teach John and Michael to fly too?
Of course. Oh my God! Robert! Oh God! John! Someone!
So when Trevor comes on with the towel to put out Robert's fiery arms, that wasn't actually in the stage show, because I don't know why we changed it actually. Maybe it was to get Harry on so we could build that relationship between Trevor and the BBC man. But that was a gag we made for the TV show, and I really like it. I think it's really funny.
Because I remember in the stage show, whoever was playing Robert had to fall off onto a load of crash mats and then very quickly get these special gauntlets put on that were covered in stuff that set on fire.
Yeah.
And then would run on with and set their arms on fire.
Yeah.
So it was all very, very quick. Although on TV we had a little bit more time, but...
Yeah, we did have a bit more time. But it's a very funny gag.
He's really on fire, people.
Are we all ready to fly?
Just think of a lovely, wonderful thought, and it will lift you into the air.
1, 2,
For most of the television programme when we were recording, we had our mic packs like strapped around our waists under our costumes. But because in this section we were going to have all our clothes ripped off and end up in our underwear, it couldn't be strapped around my waist. So it's actually pinned into my hair. So underneath that ponytail, which is fake, my mic pack is attached to my scalp. And it was so heavy, and I spent the whole time just like pulling backwards, and it got really, really sore and gave me a really bad headache. But that makes me, I want to say a big thank you to the hair and makeup department, who were incredible, and the sound department, incredible at making that work, and were always looking out for me and looking after me.
We're coming up to one of my favourite bits that we added, which is when Sandra jumps out of the window. So we wanted it not, because we used to just have the same thing where all the Darling children jump out and they all just hit the floor, and we thought, oh, it'd be great if we could find a new joke. So we had that Sandra jumps, so Charlie jumps and takes Greg's trousers down with him, and kind of we had kind of Greg's groin kind of distorted, and then him just flying around covering his arse.
Peter, I'm coming!
And I just think it's great because it's supposed to be one of the most magical moments in the whole of the kind of Peter Pan story. But it is without doubt the most kind of humiliating and degrading kind of, you know, one of the most humiliating and degrading kind of moments that the Cornley actors face. And I just think it's so funny.
And Peter's exposed.
Get me down!
Peter!
And also, Jonathan, Mr. Writer Jonathan, always wants to write in gags where I get exposed. I don't know why he finds that so funny.
We're at the pirate scene. Get some light on us.
Get some light. Where's the light?
There's no light.
Give us some sweet light. Way.
Who are those boys?
Boys.
We're in the pirate scene.
What don't you cut it free?
I don't know what to say.
Just give me the suit.
I need the suit!
Dude.
You see me dripping!
You in the boo hair.
I left the suit in the moon. I never knew you to stand How can you not understand?
A fun thing about this is we filmed it, and we kind of filmed it in a very kind of regimented, more or less scripted way, because this bit kind of always had a little bit of give and take. And then we went back and did it a second time, and I think the director gave the note, and Derry just said, I think you can just do a lot more and just have fun. So we just improvised it, and on the night, I think we went on for about 5 minutes, just going, the shoe in the boo hair, with the boo hair, no.
It gets me every time, and I don't think there was a single performance of Peter Pan Goes Wrong in theatre or even for the BBC where I managed to get through that scene without laughing in the background.
The captain seems kind of out of sorts.
Nonsense. Here he comes, rowing out to us now. Action!
Little fun fact is the guy playing the kind of park ranger is Adam Megiddo, who's the director of the stage production of Peter Pan.
My favourite bit is when Shields falls into the water and there's like a hard cut back to stage.
Step ashore.
I shall.
But originally he was supposed to fall into the actual lake in, is it Hyde Park they filmed that in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was supposed to fall in the lake. But I believe that proved very difficult because you have to have a scuba diver in the water just in case.
You have to have like a full rescue team.
Yeah,
on
then they have to
standby.
do a test of the water to check you're not going to get poisoned
Yeah.
or something like that. So it would have cost thousands and thousands of pounds for him to fall in the water. So
Chuck
they
him
had
in
to
a
go
pool.
to a swimming pool, which, another Easter egg for you, in the background, you can see a man splashing water on someone. That is Roberto, who's the costume designer.
Oh, there's a Roberto, a costume designer in the background, just walking across. I don't think I ever knew that.
'Tis the crocodile!
The mood here is quite sombre, because it was the first entrance of the Crocodile, played by
David Hearn.
By me, yeah. And it was it was quite a moving performance. I couldn't say that with a straight face. I'll try it again. It
was fine.
It was it was all right.
It was amazing.
The
best performance I've ever seen.
Crocodile outfit, I believe. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
The Crocodile outfit, I believe, was made. It was the one that they used at the National Theatre.
No, for what?
For presumably Peter Pan. It's made out of a military grade sleeping bag.
No.
So it's really hot. It's really...
And that's the costume you used for the West End?
Yeah, I think that was one I used in the West End and the one that we used for this. But yeah, it was like insanely hot in there.
Yeah.
And also...
skating around?
Yeah, I couldn't see anything either because of the dry ice. So I would literally be going on blind. And in the West End, I had to know where the front of the stage was. Because otherwise...
You didn't fall off it?
Yeah, so there's a bit where I come on and then I spin round and go back the other way. But there's like literally a really small area of the stage that you have to hit every time. Otherwise, you'll just tip off the front.
And that's not good for anyone.
No, which I did once. I tried it. But I did do it on purpose. And I thought, oh, that'd be funny. But actually, I think it just scared people. It was just like, oh, that's not safe. So, cut.
Just a hot man spinning around.
And also me just saying snap, snap, because I was bored.
Which, I was so annoyed by it because I saw you doing it and I was like, it's really funny. But then it became its own hashtag. That's what everyone, when they refer to Peter Pan Goes Wrong now, they always go snap, snap. And I was like, oh, damn you.
People call me the snap, snap guy.
No, they do.
You can call me Dave, guys. You can call me Dave.
They do not call him that.
No, if people see me in the street, they're like, oh, it's the snap, snap bloke off the telly.
Give and take, then we can make whatever we can conceive.
God, this song used to be stuck in my head so long. And now it's going to be stuck in my head again.
I fear she is jealous of me.
Not never hits me, I'm Peter Pan!
When we did this in the West End, if you remember, one of my wires snapped. Were you in that bit?
I think I was, yeah.
So we were doing the flying scene, and then it happened on tour as well, but one of my wires snapped out, and I suddenly went at like 90 degrees and was holding onto the set, because you have to have both wires, because it's like something to do with counterweighting it or something, so you now have one wire. It's quite dangerous, and I think whoever was flying me panicked that there was only one wire, so then just dropped me, because they thought I shouldn't be in the air. So then I whacked onto the floor. And I remember getting up and I was just a bit shaken. I was like, okay, obviously going to have to continue the scene on the floor. And this scene really does rely on flying. If not, it's just a rubbish scene.
Yeah.
But one of the stage managers, Tom, came on to put me back onto the rig. And I remember very calmly looking at him when, I'm not going back up there. I was like, he went to clip me on. I was like, I'm not going back up there. So he took the clips off.
Peter flies up onto the table. To die would be an awfully big...
In the filming for this, so in the West End, when we do the plank moment, it whacks me in the face. I have to put my hand up to make the nap. So the plank comes up, but I quickly put my hand and it hits me. But when we got to filming, they was like, don't put your hand up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And they said, yeah, do you mind if we just do a take without you putting your hand up because you can see it on filming? But having never done that before, it was quite a moment of let's just hope, because it does come inches away from your face.
Yeah.
And the hand will protect you, and it didn't. But luckily I didn't hit myself in the face.
Oh, that's good. When me and Rob
we
first built the table, and it was me and Rob that built that trick, we thinned out the end of the plank.
Just in case.
So yeah, it was the plank was like this thick, and then it tapered to like a thinner point at the end, so that if it did ever hit him, it wouldn't hurt.
But didn't do that in the West End.
The problem was then it had a lot of flex.
Oh,
so
I
it
see.
would like
it would bend.
Yeah.
David, do you have something to cover?
What?
You're the professional cover.
Oh God, I totally forgot about Pyro getting in here.
I've got to say that this was so hard not to laugh. And if you look really carefully, people are obviously laughing. And we actually had to cut some stuff because it was too funny. But him becoming Pyro in that suit doing the walk and stuff was just brilliant. And I thought he was just such a good sport.
Sandra, no, you don't understand. No,
Oh, Jonathan's busted.
So something I really like about Peter Pan Goes Wrong particularly is that I think in the very, very early days when Sandra sees Annie and Jonathan kissing, it was written that they would fight each other again, a bit like in The Play That Goes Wrong. And Nancy and I said, actually, can they fight a little bit at first, but then sort of unite? Because really, it's Jonathan that's two-timing and not being very nice, and the girls shouldn't fight each other. They should be on each other's side and look out for each other. And so I really like that at the end they make up and they're sort of, you know, allies again, and I think that's really cool. And I also really like that I got to fake slap Gregory Tannahill.
Eggheads, what is the term given to a person or group illegally distributing copyright material for personal profit?
Pirates.
All these other shows we managed to invade on the BBC, I wonder how confused they were by these requests.
The crew and stuff just did fantastic, but it was terrifying because a lot of it we knew we only had one shot for all of it, because we literally just pushed the boat with all of us on through the set. So we pushed it through that wall, and we knew there was no time to rebuild the wall. And then when it comes through the nursery, that literally was our only attempt at doing that. And I remember it shot through that nursery, like so hard, and there was like a little panel that was made to be breakable, and we thought it would just break through that, and then if needs be, maybe we could fix that, but it just went through the entire set and just smashed it all up. So at the end, there was this, we finished filming it, and then everyone gathered around the monitor to see what it looked like, because we knew if it hadn't worked and we didn't have it, we kind of didn't have an ending for the show. And thankfully, it worked out pretty well.
Something I really love about Peter Pan Goes Wrong, apart from all the hilarity and madness, is that it's actually, Peter Pan is one of my favourite stories of all time. And it's one of my favourite shows that I've seen, like, done properly, not a Goes Wrong version. And what I love about Peter Pan Goes Wrong is that, yes, it's all crazy and funny, but we also managed to keep in, like, some of the magic. So at the end, when we used to do it in theatre as well, when Tootles is like struggling to go and get the book because the narrator's been knocked out, and then Tootles is still really nervous, so struggling to speak, we sometimes used to get little kids in the audience going, "You can do it! I believe in you!" And it used to make me cry on stage. I just took me at the back, just quietly crying, because I thought it was so moving and magical, and it really makes me believe in fairies.
To live would be an awfully big adventure.
And that was Peter Pan Goes Wrong. I'm not going to say anything. You got nothing to say.